What's going on, guys? It's been a minute on the garage build. I have been focusing on another project these past few weekends, but the metal for the roof has arrived and I think it's looking great. We're still short on these ones. On the other side, we still have to finish this. I still need to order more of those. I need to move those because today the siding will arrive within a couple of hours from now. So I'm gonna start doing some cleanups. I'm gonna make sure that we have a place to put the siding material. I was thinking maybe somewhere here, or just have to get rid of some of the equipment. All right, guys, did a fair bit of cleanup. I cleaned all the material off from here, and then I cleared all the attachments for the tractor off from here. So I think we have enough room maybe to put them there or in front of the old garage. So the truck should be here within an hour. I'll do a bit more cleanup, make sure everything's ready when they arrive so we can just stack them. So it's 27th of April. Today I have my friend Misha coming out to finish the underlayment of the roof. Let me plug in the lights. There we go. While they're finishing the other half of the roof, I'm not sure they're gonna do the metal today because it is really windy outside, so I don't think they're gonna do any metal on the roof because it's dangerous with those high winds. But I think they're gonna finish up there and maybe start something on the facade on the outside of the walls. My goal for the day is to finally close this and that, and then see maybe you see there's a gap between the roof and the upper plate. There's about 25 centimeters. I have those leftover strips of OSB. I'm gonna nail them up there, and then I'm also gonna do the ends up there because at the walls, on the walls I have OSB, but up there I don't have nothing, but the cladding is gonna go all the way up. So the cladding is gonna go all the way up there, but there's a 12 millimeter difference there right now because there's OSB down there, there's nothing up there. So I have to put some strips in there. Obviously have to fix that flying part there. And yeah, I think that's the goal for the day. I will close the holes that I have here and then figure out the rest. Let's go. Not sure if you can hear it, but wind's really picking up. What is going on, guys? It's another Sunday. Yesterday my good friend Misha came out to give me a hand. He brought a couple of extra friends and they did this. One side is finished before the cladding. So they got all the metal trim installed, even the mice net. So this basically is meant for protecting that the mice wouldn't get between the cladding from underneath. I don't know if you can see it. There's the net. So this is covering the whole bottom, all the sides. This will be covering so that the mice wouldn't get in there. So they came out here for the full day of Saturday and they got almost all of this end done. This wall and the other side. So next weekend they're gonna come out and finish the other end, and also they're gonna start doing the cladding. But we also decided to cut two windows. One's here and the other one I'm gonna go show from the inside. So we have a window there and a window there. This is where the car is gonna be, so this needs the most light. Obviously this door is gonna have windows in it as well. Didn't do anything on that wall because I'm planning to cover most of the wall. I actually looked up about 6 meters, which is a bit more than halfway of shelves. Let me see if I can get to the distance so you can see the whole wall. So I'm gonna start from the corner. It's gonna run somewhere around there, and then I'll see what I will do with the rest of the area. But this will be shelving because we have a lot of stuff that needs to be put somewhere. Super excited, but it's super windy here because I don't have the windows or the door, but I bought plastic, so I'm gonna put the plastic where the windows are. So I'm gonna cover the windows for now. If you have any good ideas or any good recommendations what I should cover the walls with, as in the material that's gonna be covering all the ceiling and the walls, I don't know. I was thinking about covering it with drywall, then veneer. Obviously OSB would look terrible. I don't like the idea of having all of the inside looking like this. Even if it's painted white, I'm sorry, it's just not my taste. I don't know, maybe you have any good recommendations. I would love to hear them. And yeah, this is how far we got. Obviously next week I would like to make a purchase for more materials, insulate this wall. I would also like to close it and then get the shelves in so I could start moving things out from the old garage. Beautiful day today. The guys actually started to work on the facade. The first boards are going in. I'm gonna show you in a second. What I have to do is figure out the cabling for the facade lights. So we've decided to just put one light on each corner, except for the main door. I'm gonna have something up there and maybe something in the center, and then on top of that door there as well, the small entrance. Other than that, there's gonna be 1, 2, and then like each corner will have 2 lights on both sides. I did make a bit of a mistake when I was calculating the length of the boards. So like on the short side, as you know, the wall height was 3.5 meters, but then we have this top part there that was another 20 or so centimeters, and that's because of the roof trusses, how they're built. So that extended the wall height to 3.7, 3.8 meters, which I did not calculate because the boards that I bought were 3.6 meters. But there's a solution for that. So the roof comes down like this, and we're gonna bring this part a bit lower as it runs into the wall. So that's gonna fix the issue with that. But I have to figure out the lights now. So I will get on that. I will get the cables and drill the first hole. All right, guys, what is going on? A little update for you guys. As far as the garage build goes, I have not done much after I got those lights up, which by the way, I have to start taking down now because Where is it? I have a roll of plastic that I have to get up there. I have two of those actually. So this is gonna be the vapor barrier I think I was talking about it in a previous video. I have to cover the roof trusses with the vapor barrier, and it's gonna be the same boards with roughly 30 to 33 centimeters apart, and then OSB is gonna go on top of them. Last week, I did order a pallet of OSB, which is for 2 walls and the ceiling, and I did purchase this. Right, yeah, so this is Kingspan. This is, where is it written? 100 millimeter. This is 100 millimeter thick. It's got aluminum foil on both sides. This is what I'm gonna use to insulate the walls. Here I should have 2 walls of insulation. So that means I'm gonna need another tower like this. And then those OSB, those 12 millimeter OSB boards, these are for the whole ceiling and also 2 walls. And we almost have done 2 walls of the siding, which I think it looks pretty awesome. So we have done this side, and the opposite side is almost done. You already have seen that we have finished the roof. I'm gonna show you the full picture now of the whole thing. So this is what the building looks like. Also, I have to clean all this area. I have to call the excavator and dig this whole thing out because I want to have a gravel base, like a parking lot here where I can store all the stuff. And also I think some part of this side, I also have to dig this out, and I think I have to make like a porch or like a roof. So what I have to do now for the birds not to get in here, see these little gaps up there, this is where they're coming in right now. So I'm gonna use a piece of plastic, and then I'm gonna use this really sticky tape. Look, that's where they're coming in from. So I have to cover all of this. So I was thinking like sticking the plastic in each gap. So I'm gonna use the vapor barrier plastic or the same fabric that I have on the roof. And then I'm gonna use this special tape, which is meant for the wind fabric, basically, to tape it together, because I also have a little tiny holes up there as well that I have to cover. Even though I'm putting the vapor barrier in, I still don't want them to be up there because it's only gonna be on the weekend. Plus, if I'm gonna insulate the ceiling, I would have to close those gaps anyways because the insulation would blow out from those gaps, and I don't want that. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. So I've decided to cut this whole row, so I wouldn't have to do the cutting up there. Let's see how that goes. Look at that. Nice. And if that's not enough, then I'll still have some left over, because putting it in with this tape takes way less time than taping the whole thing. So let's give this a go now. Whew. Okay guys, I am sweating. It is super humid and warm outside because there was a thunderstorm just then. I just wanted to show you what I got done. So both sides, I have all of those closed.
And I did put a plastic up on the door as well, so the birds couldn't get in. I did my best on that one. It doesn't look too good, but then again, you will never see it once the ceiling is closed. And all of that obviously got closed as well. I'm pretty happy with the results. Next thing would be then start closing the ceiling with the vapor barrier. So I got a bit carried away yesterday. I forgot to set up the camera again. But I put up one row or one line of the vapor barrier. Obviously I would have to start taking down the lights now and then close the rest of the ceiling with the vapor barrier and then start with the boards.
Good morning. It's another, I'd say, beautiful Sunday, but it just stopped raining, so it's kind of a wet Sunday. But check this out. This wall is almost finished. This one is almost finished. And the corner right here, but this wall is all done. So now there's only one end wall left to finish, and the rest is looking good. I want to go to a bit of a distance to understand what's going on the roof. So we will have like a cap, like this type L-shaped cover. As you see, it is running a bit like off, it goes a bit wider on the top. I don't know why, because the other side runs perfectly straight, but it's not an issue because we're gonna use it like an end cap or like a top hat or whatever it's called. The plan for me today is to start with the ceiling inside. Let me show you how far I've got so far. It is pretty dark in here because I don't have the lights, so I had to take those down. I have put up all of the vapor barrier up there. I have taped all of the joints with the special tape. So now I have to start putting up the boards, and then on top of that goes the OSB. I have to do the cabling, I have to figure out what goes where, because I have purchased some couches for the sitting area that I'm gonna have in this corner. I have kind of figured out what it's gonna look like. I bought this really old vintage, it's from 1960s refrigerator. I still need to restore it because yeah, it needs washed. It doesn't have a compressor, but it looks really good for a man cave. I just need to get the boards inside from the outside and then start putting those up. So I'll get to that now. This is where I need to have a socket for the motor of the door, because as I read the file, it says here that if the height of the door is 2.8 meters, then the ceiling motor is about 3.9. My door's height is 3 meters, so I put it on like 4.2 from the door, which is up there. So now I have to do separate cable line for that. And then once I've done this, then I'm gonna close that row. But I am a bit worried that the last light the box that you see up there. I don't know if you can see the green line, but it's got like 15-20 centimeter distance between the box and the line. And the line is the center line of the door, which where the motor and the line for the motor is going to be. But I still want to have light there because most of the times the door's going to be closed anyway. So I need to have a light there. But I might just not put that one up. I might put two of the lights up here so we can get some light in here because it's pretty dark. Yeah, so I'm gonna put 2 lights up. I'm not gonna be worried. I'm just gonna mark where the socket's gonna be. I'm gonna run a cable there, and then I'm gonna put 2 lights up, light this place up. So I'm not sure if I should put it here or on the other side. I don't know. We'll swing it. We'll see. It's fine. I just need to get some connectors and then hang those 2 up and then put a plug on the end and try to light the room up. I did have to mark. Okay, so one of the threads is busted, but I will leave it for now. I will come back to it later as it has a smaller hole for the fixator screw to properly secure it from the other side. All right, let's get those cables in. Almost successfully done. Okay, close the box and this is done. Second one done. Now, I do need to isolate the ends in the last box. So I'm gonna leave it at that. And then we can go where the box is gonna be, where the line runs. So these are the lines that we used previously. So I'm gonna disconnect those. Those are left up on the ceiling. I am just eventually gonna cut them, but I'm gonna leave them for now. Okay. Let's leave it here now, and plug it in. Woo. Very nice. Look at that. We have some light. It's a bit better to work in this condition. I do want to have a light up there as well, so I'm going to close this panel now. Probably going to continue with the running of the boards. So instead of only having power going up there, I am gonna run cat cable as well. I think the motor itself is connected to the Wi-Fi, but just in case if I wanna have some automation in the main distribution board, then I already have the automation cable running between the motor and the distribution box. Okay, so I think I'm gonna leave it up here on the ceiling and I'm not gonna drill it through. I have it marked down
and I know where the cable is, but I just don't want to make a cutout yet. And then I can change the location later. Let's go. Somehow punch this end. Let's get this out of the way. And that will be one row done. That's the third row. So I think after that I can start moving all of this stuff to the other end of the room so I can move around with the platform and then put all the boards up, because I still have some cables that I'm running across the ceiling instead of drilling through all of the walls. So the compressor room is there. I need power for the compressor, for the ventilation system, for the heating system. There's going to be a toilet there. I did run the cables across the ceiling for door motor, but the distribution box is going to be right there. So I still need to fix the boards up there so that I could have the cables are currently just hanging there. So I could run the cables across the ceiling, drop them in there, and eventually I think I want to close this wall at least like half a panel or so that I can put the box in there and start connecting things to actual power, not the extension cord that I have up there. So, cut the piece, fit it, then start moving stuff. I still have the insulation and the walls covered with OSB. I have material for 2 walls actually, but I'm not gonna do that just now. I need to focus on getting the ceiling done first. And then I still need to figure out what else am I missing. Like, I don't have cabling for the cameras on the facade. Also want to have a separate light right on top of the big door, and then separate light right on top of the small door as well, I think. Yeah, but let's continue. Second try. Hope it fits this time. Thought I'd give you a bit of an explanation on the whole Dali system that I have for the lights. There's 3 of them that I put up yesterday. So I'm going to show you the box where the cable comes in. So you have your regular, neutral, and phase. So the phase is brown, neutral is blue, and then you have the ground as well, which is not connected currently because this is the power that I have in here. This is where the distribution box is going to be. But on the Dali system, you also have 2 wires dedicated to the Dali signal. So there's Dali plus, Dali minus. And these are used to control the lights. So how the Dali lights work is that they have constant power going on them. And then you're going to use a Dali node or Dali dimmer, which is I'm going to use at the moment, is a Dali dimmer that broadcasts the Dali signal to all of the lights at the same time. Later on, since every light can have their own address, and you can, even when they're on the same line, on the same Dali line, you can control them separately from a Dali computer, which is what I'm gonna do later on. Right now I'm gonna just use those broadcasting dimmers to dim them up and down or turn on and off at the same time. But later, when we have the sitting area there, there's going to be the man cave where the couch is and there's going to be a TV and stuff. Then this one I might want to control separately, but I don't want to have like a separate cable going there and then install 4 dimmer on the wall. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna probably use like a Lunatone or Osram Dali computer, which will give me the possibility to give every device its own address and then control them separately. But right now I'm gonna use those. I don't mean right now because I'm not gonna install them at this point. I wanna close the ceiling first with the OSB. Right now half of the ceiling is not done, and then see how far I can get today with the OSB. I've already cabled the second line of lights. So when I put another row of OSB up here, then I can put another row of lights up as well. I have already yesterday measured out where the lines are gonna be, because I did mark the first lines, I did mark on the ground. There's some lines here, as you can see, these. And this was the one that I marked last time, and this time we moved. Now, I just now realized that I moved the lines to the wrong side, because if you look up there, you can see that the board is like, it's not, the OSB is not on the half of the board. The board is a bit more inside, so I need to move 2 centimeters outside. What I did yesterday, this is the previous line. I should have moved this way, but for some reason I moved every line this way, which means that now I have to move all of those lines 2 plus 2. So I have to move those 4 centimeters that way. I wasn't that tired yesterday, but I don't know how I made that kind of mistake. But it's a simple fix. I'll just use a measuring tape and redraw those lines and then start with the boards. So yeah, let's get the fixing. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you liked it, hit the thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, and I will see you on the next one.